Number 3 coming up. Agassi losing yesterday, Bruguera losing yesterday. Our finalists here, the top player in the world and a man who, if he wins this match against Sampras, will be the number 2 player in the world, Boris Becker. First set, 6-4 to Becker, and then Sampras won the second 6-3. A couple of us are going down to Bali. And we all have our Bali High renditions. You're listening in the background.
All week long, I've had to heard about your big swell trip to Bali. You're not going to go to
Mine's
watch
the whistle.
You're not going to go to watch Balis in Bali. You're just going to go.
Dollies in Bali.
I'm going to go out and see. There's a volcano out there that I want to go and see.
According to Fred, when you travel with Fred, you say, "Fred, let's go to this castle." Oh, you've seen one bloody castle. You've seen them all.
That's right.
And there's a volcano that you guys could be seeing, but no, Fred's already seen a volcano in his lifetime, so he doesn't want to go see another bloody volcano.
15 love.
Now, that must feel pretty good. Nice way to start off set 3 after a pretty disastrous second set of serving. Becker seems to be back on the boil. Ace number 14 against just 3 from Sampras.
That's quite a big difference, isn't it?
.187 Ks makes about 116 miles an hour on that serve, but it went right into Sampras. Becker doesn't like that one, but he can live with it. It's 40-15.
I think he got that backhand a little bit late. That's why he didn't really bother challenging this one. It does look wide.
Yeah.
He got it. He caught it late. And he knew it. If he had hit it a little bit earlier, struck it cleaner, maybe he'd have been a little more upset.
Holds on without much trouble, and Becker will change ends as Tyriak, who used to be Becker's man, isn't anymore. Watches. 1 game to love.
First game, first.
Well, right at the top of the show, we talked about how important the serve was in this particular match. And in the first set, it was Becker who only lost 7 points on serve. And he had the percentages that Sampras had in this set. Sampras 71%, 42% in the first set. And Becker 39%, and he had 75 in the first set. And in this particular set, Sampras only lost 4 points on serve. Total reverse.
You are watching the World Championship here between Sampras and Becker. Eight players qualify for the World Championship here in Frankfurt. They play 2 round-robin groups. These 2 emerged after the semi-final wins yesterday, and the winner will be the world champion for this year.
Right signal, 13.
Last 2 times they've played, won both of them by Becker indoors. But I'll never forget the match they played at the Foro Italico in Rome when Pete Sampras just walked all over Becker on the clay.
That's why Sampras liked his chances here this week. Of course, this isn't as slow as red clay at the Italian Open, but he thought the conditions would help him.
This is the return that I feel Boris Becker hits a little bit better than Sampras. He flattens it out. He gets right in beside, and look at this forearm jolt and straight through it. Not a lot of topspin. That one's flat. It struck up around chest high. Barely gets this one back, and Sampras thumps it. It was pace of shot. Becker knew where it was going, but you can't do much when you get a big enough swing at this one.
You know, in isolation, as you watch this replay, this is not such a big shot because, well, it's, you know, it's not that critical a time of the match with Sampras leading, but he is sending a message to Sampras, and that is that he's going to jump on that second serve, and that's not good news for Sampras.
Oh, he missed it.
Now it may become bigger news.
Miss-hit return. Sampras can't believe that. That's why those shots are not as easy as they look, because when you miss-hit the ball, it comes off the frame of the racket and it provides a different type of spin. And all it has to do is get away on your racket just a fraction of an inch on you from your hitting zone, and you can push it wide, as Sampras did on that occasion. They're not as easy as they look, those shots.
One breaker serve in either set so far has done it.
Well, actually, Becker got what he was looking for there. He just simply got the ball back, knowing that Sampras was disgusted the point before, and he set himself up with a second shot, the passing shot. However, he missed it. But the tactics, the play, percentage play was the right one.
One game all, third set.
Again, a good safe volley there, and now he watches that one right onto the strings. Very careful about that shot, Sampras.
Consent.
194 Ks is 121 miles an hour on that serve.
17 aces now.
Consent by 15 all.
Could Sampras be more aggressive on the return, in your opinion, Fred?
Yeah, I definitely think so, Cliff. Yeah, that's where I think Becker's got the little bit over him on the backhand side, and I think Sampras is a little more effective on the forehand side.
Like that? Like that. I'm just wondering whether it's a product of how well Becker has served, you know, that he just really is not in a position.
Well, I think it's a better shot. I honestly think that flatter forehand there that Sampras has off, I'd like to see him flatten his backhand out like that, as opposed to try and come up over the top of it, or eventually the one that he comes underneath is too much slice.
15-30.
He and Tim Gullickson actually worked very, very hard in the last couple of years to make his return game better, and especially at Wimbledon, because he didn't stand right to the net on grass. He didn't really return too well on the grass. Of course, now he's won 2 Wimbledon titles.
They've worked very hard also on his backhand to make him come from low to high a little bit more on it than he did, say, 3 years ago. That's a great serve from Becker, the swinging one once more. But Sampras used to hit more with a flat backhand, and they've worked on getting a little bit more topspin, a little bit more air, as we might say in the game, a little bit more margin for error over the top of the net. I'd like to see him bring it down just a fraction more indoors.
Well, that's pretty good. 5 aces in this very early going of this third set alone. After 7 double faults in the second set, Becker's back.
Thursday night on ESPN, a classic college football matchup as rivals Syracuse and West Virginia meet at Mountaineer Stadium. The Orangemen need a win to secure a bowl bid. Start the night off right with the Russell Athletic weekend kickoff show, followed by the game in West Virginia. All that action gets underway at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, 4:30 on the West Coast. This is tennis from Frankfurt, the World Championship. Pete Sampras and Boris Becker. Sampras, the top player in the world, trying to add the world champion crown to 9 titles that he's won so far this year, including an indoor event at Antwerp last week and 2 Grand Slams, the Australian and Wimbledon.
Jeez, it's pretty high quality stuff out here. I mean, when you look at it, both these men really, they both had 1 weak game, and that's why things are so even in this match.
That's again the return that I feel is stronger off the Becker side, that backhand, as he muscles that one, flattened it out, and then put Sampras under pressure, and he finished up with an easy volley.
I agree. There was a dodgy patch in this match when Becker served those 5 double faults to give the game and the second set away. For about 3 games there, it was a little ratty, but boy, things have turned around now.
No joy from Jerry Armstrong. We talked to the chair umpires. They reckon that's the most difficult one for them to see, the serve down the tee.
Dry sequencing. 30-15.
Oh, very close. You'd be the judge. It's either barely out or just touched the edge of the line.
Yeah.
But that man's got a good look at it.
Yeah, I'd hate to have to make that call on the replay, I tell you.
Well, we don't have the cameras on those lines that that actually show the view, like the base lines and the service lines, the ones where they have those new cameras. They're very small camera, but they look right down at a low level along the line. On those high ones, you're looking for a much higher camera, and it's a little deceptive.
Now Sampras wants a call.
No dice, 30-all.
Boris Becker complained after yesterday's press conference. Look at that one.
I think that clipped the line.
Yeah, that one, I think Pete might be wrong about that one. But Becker said after his press conference yesterday, he said, you know, this is supposed to be the best tournament of the year on the ATP Tour, and it's supposed to be the best players. We should have the best linesmen. And he feels that, you know, some of these local lines people aren't getting the job done. These are, let's face it, 8 of some of the hardest hitting guys you're going to find in tennis going for the lines, going for the big shots.
And the worst part is that we can tell you when they make a mistake now on some of the lines because of these cameras that we've got. It's long. Game point for Sampras coming up.
If you remember going back to their first match in the round robin, those of you that have watched with us all week, Becker caught Sampras with about 3 topspin lobs in that match that caused breaks of serve when Sampras was covering the net, blanketing the net. He hasn't played one today. That was the first time.
And Sampras was smiling as he chased that one down because he knew it was going to land big.
Two games all. The semi-final matches yesterday had great ratings here in Germany. 1 in 3 television sets was tuned to both semi-final matches. The Becker-Bruguera match, obviously, but the Sampras-Agassi numbers were as good.
You can see how loose that net is when they sort of get there. It doesn't do too much for you.
1 set all, 2 games all.
There's that forehand return you like so much, Fred. Yeah, in the middle of this net, again, you can see there's a metal pipe which helps secure this thing, the net of this court. And it's looser than if you sink poles into concrete, like at the U.S. Open, where you get a very, very strict, taut bounce off of a lead cord. But as I said, because this is a singles court, if you aim towards wide, towards the sidelines, and again, Pete Sampras doesn't think that's an ace, but it counts as his 18th.
I thought that was good, that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I think Pete's got to just start playing these now. 19 aces, 6 in this set.